Today, I'm giving 3 sellers the chance to get one step ahead of the game and snoop around their competitors' houses.
It's not cutesy. We haven't even got a shade in here.
It's a large space with nothing in it.
Yeah, it does look a little bit unloved, just to tell you the truth.
I meet resistance.
Very bold, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I think it needs bold, because at the moment, understated ain't doing it.
And sellers fess up.
When was the last time you went on that cross trainer?
I don't think I've ever used it.
As they make over their homes, some doubt their creations.
It's my interpretation of shabby chic.
Others become design divas.
I don't want to be an artist. I don't want to upcycle furniture.
But will any of them win an offer from my buyer?
But yeah, it's lovely. I think they've done a really nice job.
Today, I'm in the London suburb of Forest Hill. Its leafy streets were one of the best-kept property secrets. But improved transport links have had buyers flocking to the area and driven house prices up by 12% over the last 2 years, with the average house asking price a smidge under 561 grand. Fantastic news for my 3 sellers looking to profit and sell to my buyer, finance manager Jennifer, who's recently returned back to the UK with her hubby after 4 years working in Melbourne.
So exciting times. Baby number 2 on the way, so you've got to move.
Yes.
So tell me, in a nutshell, what it is you're looking for.
We'd really like 3 bedrooms. I enjoy cooking. If we can find a nice open plan kitchen, that'd be ideal.
What about style? Have you got a particular era?
Quite open to old, new. We are also up for something that we can put our mark on.
Okay.
So if there's a property that hasn't had the roof conversion or hasn't had the cellar converted.
You're up for it. Are you crazy? 2 children under 2 and a whole conversion as well. I like your style.
For that family home with room to grow, a spacious kitchen and project potential, Jennifer has a budget of 780 grand. So I've lined up 3 properties, but all need some work before I can show them to her. First up, it's entrepreneur James and girlfriend Claire. James is looking to sell this 4-bed semi that he owns with his ex-wife so he can start afresh and move in with new love Claire. But James is all about no frills when it comes to the decor in this house.
I probably am a little bit more plain and a bit safer. I think Claire may be a bit more adventurous with her design. Where I might have a plain wall, she might go for a pattern wall.
Now that shirt does not suggest a man who's afraid of a pattern. Claire is quick to point out the main problem areas in the house.
The 2 spare rooms, we know, just look like an empty space. They don't look very inviting.
At least Claire can keep James on task with the DIY.
I mean, I don't do a lot of DIY. I generally, don't do any.
The downstairs of this 4-bed, characterful semi has a sleek and modern kitchen with a great layout, but the abandoned upstairs is really letting it down. It does, however, have the space for a growing family, and it's the most expensive of my 3 properties, a tad over Jennifer's budget, on at £787,000. Next up, it's retired engineer Alan and partner Shelley. The 2 met 14 years ago at the dawn of internet dating, but have never shared the same house. And extreme minimalist Alan isn't keen to share his home with anything, least of all furniture.
It's my style, it's not anybody else's. It's a bit masculine. People have said that it's not cuddly, so I'll put a teddy bear in the front room.
Cuddly, yes. Comfortable, no. The lack of furniture and empty feel might explain the lack of interest in this property.
It's been on the market for 6 months and we've had under 10 viewings. I've had nearly 5,000 people click on it, but they don't come to see it.
The clinical decor starts as soon as you walk through the front door and continues into the empty living area.
The style is plain and white, clean.
It was my dream place, but we've got to do something and we'll listen to advice.
This empty and colourless 4-bed terrace is the original blank canvas, but lacks any warmth as a result. It does have that open-plan kitchen that Jennifer was after, and it sits in the middle of my 3 properties, on the market for 760 grand. Last up, it's bricklayer Pat, supported by daughter and full-time mum Emma. This 4-bedroom semi has been a family home for over 30 years, but Pat lost his wife last year and now wants to move closer to Emma and his 2 grandchildren.
It was a home, but now it's just a house. It's time to move on, isn't it? It's time, it's time I moved on.
And they've had a few goes at finding the right style for this house.
We did try modern in here. We tried clean. I think we need to try something else now.
Particularly in the tired living room. There's one very obvious problem that Pat's well aware of.
Basically, we have no dining room, so we have to address that. You know, that seems to be the drawback.
This unloved 4-bed semi has an air of neglect and lacks a usable dining area. It needs a big injection of TLC to shake its abandoned feel. It's the cheapest of my 3 properties, on the market for 750 grand. So it's James and Claire's characterful semi with the abandoned bedrooms against Alan and Shelley's empty townhouse and Pat and Emma's neglected semi, all duking it out to win an offer from my buyer Jennifer. To help my sellers realise what they could change in their own properties, they now get the chance to check out their rivals' homes. First up, it's Alan and Shelley's cold and clinical 4-bed end of terrace, which has been recently done up to top spec. Now, in theory, Alan and Shelley's newly renovated townhouse should be attracting a whole host of buyers and offers, but actually it's having the opposite effect. And that's because I think it feels very cold and stark and, to be honest, not lived in, which is why they've had over 5,000 clicks online, but only 5 people through the door. First to snoop are Pat and Emma.
I'm not a fan of these style of houses, but they always have loads of room, normally, don't they?
I think it would be really cool if inside it was all 1970s style.
Perhaps any kind of style would be good.
Kind of a claustrophobic hallway, isn't it?
Yeah, the ceiling's
Very
really
low.
low.
Yeah. And I'm not particularly tall, but I feel kind of tall in this room.
Up on the first floor in the open-plan living area, the rival sellers find literally nothing to inspire.
It's a large space with nothing in it.
Really lovely and airy, but then it would be if there's
Nothing in here. I mean, it's a nice, clean, well-decorated space of nothing.
On the second floor, James and Claire are confused by the clashing styles in the guest bedroom.
It's quite mismatched, to be honest. I think from the rug to the quilt to the curtains.
I remember one of those.
And even the style of the bed. The style of the bed doesn't really match.
This house is on the market for £760,000.
It doesn't sound too unreasonable.
I think it's definitely worth it.
The rival sellers are in agreement that this house offers good value for money. Next to be snooped is Pat's shabby 4-bed semi, which has a lovely loft conversion but lacks a dining area and could do with a big injection of TLC. This has got the potential to be an incredible family home, but there are certain areas and elements that just don't work. For example, there is no dining room downstairs. It also feels quite cold and stark. You don't walk into this house and feel like it wants to wrap you up. And I think a few soft furnishings could go a very long way. First to snoop are James and Claire.
It'd be good to have more greenery here and, you know, some plants and stuff.
And very neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Yes, looks good.
Mixed response to the exterior. Inside, Alan and Shelley feel right at home in the empty hallway.
Oh, I would say this is slightly disappointing then, from the front. It's cold.
Oh, perhaps they've moved out.
That's rich, Alan, given the vacant feel of your hallway. Next door in the living room, James and Claire aren't feeling any love.
There's not really any character in this room either. Yeah, it does look a little bit unloved, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It looks better with sofas than it would look without.
I think she's trying to tell you something, Alan. Next door, James and Claire seem confused.
Okay, it's like a room with an ironing board.
My nan would have that on the back of the door going out to the garden in, like, the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's just there to cover storage space, but you could do much more with this place.
You go in there, you've got the toilet. And so that's good, having a downstairs toilet, but I wonder why there's a dining table in there.
In the kitchen, the rival sellers are making a meal out of the lack of dining space.
Where would you actually eat in the house? Because you haven't really got room in the other room and there's no table here.
OK, I just had an idea it was going to be a kitchen diner because there hasn't been a dining area.
On the top floor, James and Claire see what a well-presented bedroom looks like.
I mean, we do have 2 fairly plain rooms at home, but ours are literally sort of shells, aren't they? So they need some work on.
While Alan and Shelley see that the brilliant white in their house isn't always brilliant.
This room has got some nice warm colours in it, hasn't it? So I think the only colour that we have is possibly in the carpet being beige.
Is beige a colour? This house is on the market for £750,000.
That seems to me a very, very top-end price for the house.
That seems a lot. Yeah, that seems a lot because it's a bit of a strange layout. The downstairs is really a bit strange.
They're all in agreement that this house doesn't live up to the price tag, but Alan and Shelley did acknowledge the lack of colour or any natural fibres in their place. Last up, it's James and Claire's characterful semi with the smart downstairs and abandoned bedrooms.
Now, there's no doubt that James and his girlfriend Claire have a beautiful house, and downstairs really showcases that. But then when you come upstairs, these bland, cramped bedrooms that have no sense of purpose really let the place down.
First to take a look are Pat and Emma.
Oh, this is nice, isn't it?
I like that.
Yeah.
Got
I like the
side
shutters.
This is my kind of house.
Thumbs up outside. Inside, Alan and Shelley receive a warm welcome in the heavenly hallway.
What do you think? This really is my kind of house.
It reminds me of your house that you used to own.
In the living room, the rival sellers learn that sometimes more is more.
Our room is quite Spartan compared to this. I'm not really into sofas. I don't quite understand why people buy sofas.
Does that really need answering? Next door, the colourful kitchen highlights what Alan's house is suffering from.
My place is a bit manly, isn't it? It's
Well,
not,
it's empty. It's not even manly. It's
well,
quite empty.
Haha, eureka! And Pat learns what his house lacks.
Well, this is more family orientated. This, you know, the dining table and the chairs, and whereas I haven't got that at the moment.
Upstairs, Alan and Shelley stumble on what should be a bedroom.
Nice kind of bits of furniture, but not really
But it's
needed, are they?
No, and it doesn't show it as a bedroom.
Next door, another bedroom has left Pat confused.
There's no wardrobe space, is there? I mean, I don't know where you put your clothes.
Do you think it's quite a masculine house?
It's not cutesy. We haven't even got a shade in here,
Yeah.
This house is on the market for £787,000.
It's a lovely house.
It is.
But 750?
Yeah, 750 be
Yeah.
the right price, I think.
That is quite a high price, I would have thought, for the property.
I wouldn't pay that money for it. Well, I would for my house,
Today, I'm in the London suburb of Forest Hill, giving 3 sellers a hand to bring their properties up to scratch ahead of being viewed by my eager buyer, Jennifer.
We've just been living in Australia, so I've got my heart set on a property with 3 good-sized bedrooms, 2 reception rooms and a nice-sized kitchen.
Your wish is my command. After checking out the competition, my 3 rival sellers have all picked up a tip or two on how their own homes could be improved.
I definitely put more colour into my house, I think.
Potentially put a sofa in the living room to identify a living space.
We need to define the house a little bit more. It's a little bit temporary.
They've all got a budget of £1,000 and 7 days to kick their houses into shape before I bring Jennifer round to view. First up, it's Alan and Shelley's empty 70s townhouse, which does offer a newly renovated open-plan living area, but is less than inviting, especially in the hallway.
It feels quite sparse. It feels like someone doesn't live here.
Yeah. This isn't an area that I had thought was important.
This is the first area that anyone sees.
Yeah.
And most buyers will make up their minds about buying a property within 30 seconds of walking through the front door.
That's amazing.
What I think would be nice is to put a little bit of pattern down here.
Oh, my God. Oh, it's bright. It's like your top.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a bit more geometric. All I'm talking about is underneath the stair. So it's just a bit of interest. And you go with the sort of retro patterns.
It's very bold, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I think it needs bold, because at the moment, understated ain't doing it. Understated's got you
You're
5 people through the door in almost half a year.
Absolutely.
Next, I need to deal with that living area. Whilst it's well finished, Alan has taken the idea of less is more to the extreme and well beyond.
There's minimalistic, and there's hello, 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 which is kind of what it is at the moment.
Yeah.
All the other sellers walked in and went, what is this space? What is it? It is the living room upstairs. Is this the living room?
Yes, this is the living room. No sofa.
No, nothing.
And when you don't have a television, I don't know what you need a sofa for,
Sitting on, communicating, reading.
We sit together and eat and talk to each other.
You need to present this house for buyers. Now, most buyers have a couch, and you need to spend some of that £1,000 on furniture.
Yep.
That can be expensive.
It can be expensive, but if you're clever, it doesn't have to be. All it needs, I feel, is either 2 sofas here and here, but small ones, or a big sort of corner sofa, but not an enormous corner sofa, and a coffee table. It's just creating a family living space.
Yeah, okay.
Upstairs on the second floor, the poor presentation continues in the guest bedroom.
There's a real kind of juxtaposition of styles in this house. So you've got your stark, minimalistic downstairs. It's all white everywhere. And then you come up to the bedrooms and there's sort of floral bedspreads, floral curtains, quite country cottage rugs. And it all jars a little bit. Colour on the wall again. You don't have to go crazy with wallpaper, but you could go for something quite bold, like a dual colour, like a bold sapphire green or a cobalt blue, or just you could just paint this one.
Just one wall again?
Just one wall.
I've got enough colour, I've got Shelley in my life.
You got Shelley in your life, but you need a bit of colour on your walls.
Okay.
It's a great house. There's an enormous amount of space, but it just feels really bland and unloved. I've given them an awful lot to think about. Shelley seems to be on board with it all. Alan looks like he's been hit by a bus. It's going to be interesting to come back and see how they get on.
We've got a lot of work to do. Yeah. But shopping, that'll be fun. Wallpapering, I'm sure will be great.
Yes, I don't mind wallpaper. It's only one wall, so I should be able to knock that off in a day.
Yeah,
easy.
one wall and a bit today.
You're confident, I'll give you that. To try and fill the void that is the living space in this house, furniture-phobic Alan breaks the habit of a lifetime and goes looking for stuff to fill his house. First up, it's a sofa.
I shall be looking forward to test driving it.
You've got to build it first.
I made a sofa in 1968. 2 sofas, when everything was, funny enough, was white furniture.
Alan deals with his demons.
1, 2, 3, sit.
I'm confronting the evil of sofas taking over the world.
Next up, it's Pat and Emma's tired semi. They've emotionally disconnected with this property, but I'm hoping that I can help them reconnect and re-establish an all-important usable dining area.
When we took the other sellers around the house, they came into this space and they said, I don't get it. It confused them. I would like to see this turned into a dining room, a proper one. And normally I wouldn't suggest losing a toilet downstairs because obviously, again, it's a family home and you need a loo downstairs. But in this case, I think actually to turn this back into a dining room would show people that there is space for it.
Yeah.
You're a builder by trade, aren't you? So this is going to be a breeze. You'll have this done in a day. Will you do it? Will you take this down? Because it's...
Oh, yeah, that's
easy, isn't it? Yeah, I'll do that thing that builders do. Think about estate agents' pictures. That's going to get people through the door. Because at the moment, a photograph of this isn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Next door, I attempt to breathe life back into the living room.
The other sellers, when they came in here, they said that it felt a bit soulless and unloved and not cared for.
Probably.
I like the colour schemes that you've used throughout the bottom of this house. I think that they work very well, but you could get away with putting some pattern in here because it's all very monochrome, isn't it? Big black sofas, white walls.
He does like colour. But
Just doesn't know it yet.
He just doesn't.
If it was me, I would do the entire wall surface in something like that.
Do you like that?
Me?
Yeah. Well,
You don't care, look, it's like, basically, this is every woman's dream. Like, we can just do what we want. But also this one, can I just put this, just to show you how instantly that's warmed it up. And it's given some sort of point of interest. And then it's soft touches, which is probably where you're going to come in. Candles, cushions, throws, rugs, all of those things to create a homely, warm environment. So you can do it.
Me? Of course.
See, look at that, she says confidently. This isn't just your average run-of-the-mill house. This is a property that Pat and his late wife brought their children up in. And now she has sadly passed away and Pat is on his own. It's lost that heartbeat. It just feels sad. And I'm a big believer in people picking up on that. So not only do we have to redecorate it and reconfigure it, but we've also got to give it back its heartbeat.
I definitely needed to get someone to kickstart me to get on with this because I couldn't do it by myself, so
gets straight to work on the dining room, whilst Emma clears the living room ahead of redecorating. Pat starts taking down the stud wall, which will really open the space up.
Right, here we go.
You can remove a stud wall yourself and save cash, but it must be non-load bearing. And remember, they can often house complicated plumbing and electrics.
I mean, it's surprising how big it is, isn't it? I probably won't want to move when I'm finished.
It may be just a wall, but it means something more to Pat.
A bit symbolic today, just taking this down, and because it's a forward move for me.
Last up, it's James's functional semi, which has a characterful downstairs, but an upstairs that looks abandoned. With Claire at work, it's up to James to take on board my advice, starting in the middle bedroom, which serves a purpose, but that's about it.
When was the last time you went on that cross trainer?
I don't think I've ever used it. I have actually offered it to a friend who's agreed to take it.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to see if in the next few days I can get him over to come and collect it and take it apart.
Yeah, I'd really like him
It will
to
free up
take
a lot
it.
of space. Yeah.
I feel that you have a stunning home. I really do. But I just feel that the upstairs lets it down a little bit. It has the most enormous potential to make a really pretty guest bedroom.
Yeah.
And at the moment, you have your archetypal dumping ground.
Yeah.
You can afford to be a bit playful with these two
Yeah.
rooms. I was thinking something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
All the way around, a lovely bed with some kind of vintage. That's your task. Find me an interesting headboard.
Okay.
Is Claire on board, or is Claire going to conveniently be at work?
she's absolutely on board. She's absolutely on board.
I wager there'll be a couple of scented candles on that fireplace.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
One bedroom down, just the box bedroom to go.
The comments from some of the other sellers were that it was a very masculine space.
I was trying to cut costs, but obviously without a female input, it ended up quite masculine.
Yeah.
I couldn't really help that.
Number one, I think it would be a really good idea for you to start clearing some of this stuff out.
So some of the big furniture even?
Yeah, because what happens is you walk into a room like this and you go, well, what is it?
Yeah.
And then someone says, well, it could be a spare bedroom, it could be an office, it could be, yeah, but there's no space for a bed, or there's no space for a desk.
Yeah.
People can't see it.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is idiot-proof it. I think what would work really well in this room is to turn it into an office.
Okay.
Because you haven't got an office space here, have you?
No. I've got my office actually in my living room on my table.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
makeshift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could make it into an office in here.
Absolutely, and it could look absolutely fantastic. So we start by clearing the whole thing out, and then we go for something quite radical, not all the way around, because I think it would be too much. And then you take the rest of the walls back to this colour, which is basically an off-white.
Yeah.
Because it will just lighten the whole space up. Think about maybe like a lovely old vintage filing tray.
Yeah.
Those kind of eclectic bits that I think would just work brilliantly in here. I think that James has done a very good job so far, but he's only 80% there. He wants to sell this and start a new life with his girlfriend Claire. So what he needs to do is really crack on and turn those bland, dull bedrooms into something completely amazing.
I have some really strong ideas of the designs I envisage for myself, so I think I'll go with my own designs. Hopefully Amanda will like them and she'll be happy with them, but apart from that, the actual ideas that she gave me and the recommendations, I do agree with those, yeah.
Well, it's time to see just how much James did agree as he and Claire head out to a funky furniture boutique on the hunt for a vintage headboard for the middle bedroom, supposedly.
It was just giving me some ideas for the guest bedroom.
I've already given you ideas, James, and they didn't include even more bulky furniture.
What about perhaps, instead of thinking about the whole bed
Headboard
head
thing.
thing, what about...
Focus on the furniture. That would look fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Claire, I was counting on you to be on my side. And then they find a wardrobe, the one piece of furniture they're definitely not short of.
I mean, it's not too radical a change, and I think that the results will be really good, and Amanda will be pleased with that.
Yep, we'll have to see about that, James.
Spent a big chunk of the budget on it, but I think it's worth it because it's such a good feature.
It's a feature, all right. At Forest Hill in South East London, my sellers have stepped up the pace and are working flat out to improve their homes in an effort to get them ready in time to show my buyer, Jennifer.
We're hoping we can get 3 good-sized bedrooms, a nice garden, and if we can find somewhere that's got a good open-plan kitchen, that'd be lovely.
At Alan's empty 70s townhouse, it's all about coming up with the cost-effective way of decorating and furnishing the whole house. While Shelley clears the hallway, Alan gets creative by making a coffee table with some old offcuts of decking.
I pictured this table as a frame, and then I can put any top on.
The old man's work.
Constructing a simple frame and laying pieces of decking to form the top, he's got something resembling a coffee table. Sort of.
It's my interpretation of shabby chic.
I'll make an interior designer out of you yet, Alan.
Cup of tea, Vicar. OK. I see the point of sofas.
Hallelujah. Over at Pat and daughter Emma's shabby semi, it's all about creating a family dining room and smartening up the lounge, although there's been a slight rethink.
Amanda wanted us to do all 4 walls, but Dad thought that would have been too much for him.
And it's onwards and upwards as plumber Gary arrives to remove the toilet bowl and basin from what is fast becoming the dining room. It's always best to get the experts in when doing any plumbing work, even if you are a builder like Pat.
Open your eyes.
Oh, wow. That is big, isn't it?
Long way off yet, Pat. Still plenty of work to do. Over at James and Claire's functional semi, they're clearing the bedrooms of the bulky furniture before decorating. I suggested a subtle floral wallpaper, but James has got his own ideas.
Now that we've kind of slightly changed the idea behind the design for the room, I think this is really fitting with what we want to do.
That's more than a slight change. Wallpaper sets the whole tone and character of a room. And with it up, James ditches turning the box room into an office, as I suggested, and goes for a dazzling child's bedroom instead.
Although I have blown probably nearly half the budget on the paper, I think it's probably a good decision, yeah.
Back at Alan and Shelley's 70s townhouse, the couple are getting stuck in painting the guest bedroom, the Colbert blue that I suggested.
Oh, that is great colour blue.
Downstairs in the hallway, Alan's got his hands on my wallpaper suggestion.
I've been told this is a retro look, bold with colour, and it's making a statement, so I need to make a statement.
You always make a statement, Alan. Just need to get that wallpaper up pronto.
It looks lovely.
There you go, Alan. Always room for a bit more colour in your life. At Pat and Emma's, the living room has been decorated and the newly opened up dining space is starting to take shape. With the pretty wallpaper in the new dining room going up, Emma's come up with a clever way to reuse the old lounge curtains.
We are going to take the fabric from the living room, which is cream, put it on the seats, rather than just throwing the curtains away. So we'll take that, measure around it, make sure I've got enough, staple it, done.
Recycling, upcycling, call it whatever you want. It's a brilliant money saver and a great way to update some dated dining room chairs. Over at James and Claire's, the wallpaper in the middle bedroom is going up, while Claire works on creating a new light fitting.
I've got this mobile, so what I'm doing is just placing these butterflies strategically round on the wire.
Inside, James is busy in the kitchen upcycling a cabinet.
I've never recycled it or upcycled anything in my life.
Yeah, you can tell. But it is a simple and cost-effective way to add a bit of glamour to a room.
I don't want to be an artist. I don't want to upcycle furniture. I think it's cool, but I'll just buy it if that's all right.
OK, no more upcycling, but it is looking good, James. Back at Alan and Shelley's, the living room has been furnished and the hallway wallpapered. Alan is also working on upcycling some cabinets for the newly decorated guest bedroom. Sofas, coffee tables, and now cabinets. You're going to have a fully furnished house soon, Alan. The final touches are placed in, adding warmth to this once cold room.
I think we're showing the house off to its greatest potential. So if the buyer doesn't choose ours, it'll just be because they don't like townhouses.
The hallway was stark and uninviting. Now, with a bold new wallpaper and accessories, it's a hallway anyone would be happy to come home to, at a cost of just under £164.
Oh, what a difference! It's lovely. It's so much more welcoming.
Are you amazed? Are you amazed? Look at the room under there.
Yeah. Are you pleased with it? Are you pleased with the look?
I'm not all that keen with the wallpapering, you know, but...
You know, there may well be people that will look at that wallpaper and think, oh, I don't like that. But what it will do is make yours stand out, whereas before, it just sort of blended into all the others.
Yeah.
Bold wallpaper helps to fix a house in a buyer's memory, especially more modern homes like Alan and Shelley's. Upstairs in what was once an empty and clinical living room, it now feels homely, with the addition of contemporary furniture, soft furnishings and quirky accessories, which pepper colour and character throughout the space. Total cost, £698.
Oh my goodness, it's a proper room.
Yay! What do you think?
I think it looks great. You have really excelled at the art of dressing a room. I love that table. What is it? Is it It's decking, isn't it?
I said an hour and it took an hour and a half.
Have you had fun doing it, or is it completely stressed
I think
you out?
maybe with a longer time, maybe with 2 weeks, it might have been nice. A week has been quite stressy. Not much sleep. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I think it's beautiful.
Upstairs, the guest bedroom was a confused mix of jarring styles, but has been brought into balance with a vibrant feature wall and complementary accessories. Total spend just over £164.
I have to say, I absolutely adore it.
Got a kind of Moroccan vibe to it, isn't it? You know, screen.
Gorgeous. Budget-wise, you had £1,000. Did you manage to come in on budget?
We managed to spend it all. I don't know.
we just went just over
What?
about £50.
She didn't tell me that.
Now we just got to get it sold. So you two can finally move into a place together.
Yeah,
Hurrah, happy ending.
And we know how to dress it.
At Pat and Emma's once austere house, the dining area has been created and decorated. Emma just has time to refresh the dining room chairs and reflect on what the experience has meant to her dad.
I think it's just giving him what he needed. And I think because we're all doing it, we are actually putting love into it. If we paid someone else to do it, it'd be completely different.
The living room was a shabby and cold space. By wallpapering with a pretty floral pattern, refreshing the walls with a light colour scheme, and adding in some soft furnishings, it now feels welcoming and homely. Total cost £276.
Gorgeous. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
You like it?
Yeah, it's really spruced it up, hasn't it?
Definitely.
And it's blended really well with the wallpaper that you chose.
The whole 4 walls would have been too much for us
Okay,
as well.
I was going to say, because and I think with such a bold pattern, you're probably right. I think if you'd have done all 4, it might have been a little bit too. But it's just, can you see now, though, how it's tied the room together?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like someone else's room, isn't it? It's not
Someone else's house this morning.
Does it feel strange coming into it now?
Yeah, it's totally strange, yeah.
In a good way or a bad way, or...?
In a different way.
The once functional but soulless utility room has been reborn as a family-friendly dining room. By knocking out the stud wall and removing the downstairs loo, the space has been opened up into a light and fully usable eating area at a cost of just over £861.
Oh, my goodness! Wow, you've been busy. Do you know, it's much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it surprising? Do you like it?
I do, yeah. Stay now.
You can't stay, you're not allowed to stay, you've got to move. But it looks wonderful, it really does. And I think anyone coming in can see instantly what the space could be like. It's great. Do you think you've improved your chances of selling?
Oh, definitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah, whatever I do.
I think it looks wonderful, I really do.
Over at James and Claire's, James places his upcycled cabinet in the newly decorated guest bedroom, and the elegant Parisian-style bed is made. Next door, just time for the finishing touches to the new and vibrant child's bedroom.
We're wary of throwing caution to the
Yeah,
wind.
but we're really happy with the result, though, aren't
Yeah.
we? We think we've achieved what we set out to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
From a dumping ground to a beautifully styled feminine boudoir, the masculine middle bedroom is now a dainty but elegant space, achieved using a sweet floral wallpaper, bespoke accessories and handmade decorative features. It all costs £628.
Wow! Well, that's not the colour I chose, but my gosh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Wow! Before, the sort of overriding theme of this house was that it was very blokey, obviously, because you as a bloke and you are living here. What you've done here, which is very clever, is that not all of the rooms are as bright and as vibrant as this, but you've showcased this one.
Yeah.
So this would appeal to a teenage girl, a younger girl. It's a great guest bedroom.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you've done a brilliant job. It's a very bold choice of wallpaper.
Yeah.
And I think if I'd have put that up, first of all, you'd have probably fallen over.
Yeah. Now I've got some paper up, I really like it, and I'm thinking of other ideas for the rest of the house now. Yeah.
You won't have time. I reckon this is going to fly. It looks fantastic. It really
thanks.
does. Right, let's go look at this office.
Next door, the box bedroom was abandoned. It's been reinstated as a colourful child's bedroom using a vibrant wallpaper and statement furniture pieces. Total cost £443.
Hang on, this isn't an office. It's gorgeous. There's a bed in here.
Yeah.
So talk me through this, because when I left, this was going to be an office and it was going to be an orange wall and you were going to have a desk and industrial, everything. And then what?
This was my son's room when he was born.
Right.
And If I was to be honest, most of the people that have come over to look at the house have had young children.
Right. So you got all sentimental on it.
I did.
I think you've done a brilliant job. I mean, my argument would be if you put an office in here, it would appeal to not just people with small children, it would appeal to teenagers, to people that work from home.
Yeah.
Equally, having said that, you have done an incredible job. This is great.
Claire saw the pugs and thought, oh my God, kids' bedroom,
Yeah.
dogs, how cute is that?
It's a quirky feature, but it works really well.
Yeah.
You know, shame on you for not listening to a word I said in terms of either room, but it does look brilliant. I mean, they both look fantastic. And like you say, it's a family home. This will now appeal to a family. I think you've done a cracking job, I really do.
In the London suburb of Forest Hill, all 3 sellers have made big changes, ready for when my buyer, finance manager Jennifer, comes to view.
I'm really hopeful that we can find a property with 3 good-sized bedrooms, 2 reception rooms and a nice-sized kitchen. We're not going to jump into something that's not quite right. We're willing to wait for the right property.
James and Claire have reinvigorated their forgotten and overly masculine bedrooms, creating 2 wonderfully unique and vibrant spaces.
Yeah, I think we're quietly confident, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've made such a big effort for it. I mean, I'd be disappointed if all the effort was overlooked.
Pat and Emma have refreshed their tired and cold living room and created a new elegant dining space.
It's been very stressful. I still think we've done really good work here. Definitely.
Alan and Shelley have taken an empty and featureless show home and added personality using bold decor and furnishing it to give it that lived-in feel.
I've learnt a lot about it, and I think we are now showing it off to its maximum.
Yep.
All 3 houses are ready, and it's time to show them to my buyer, Jennifer. First up, it's Alan's now furnished 4-bed retro pad. It's arranged over 4 floors. On the ground floor, there's a garage, a studio room, and that spruced up entrance hall.
Initial impressions, and have you looked at anything like this before?
Not looked at anything like this before. Initial impressions are it looks big, which is good.
Yeah.
It's not the prettiest house I've ever seen.
No, the 70s were a decade that I think got slightly lost when it comes to style. It's a bit like some of the men I've dated in the past. Got a lot going for them, just not that attractive on the outside. Shall we go in and have a look?
Yeah, let's.
Inside, let's hope the new and improved interior is more appealing.
So this is your ground floor.
Okay. I was expecting a big open plan when I walked in. So
That's
it feels,
upstairs.
Yeah, okay.
You could probably lose the garage if you wanted to and create a big... Is open plan the sort of way you're leaning towards?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely what my husband prefers.
Okay. Well, we'll continue. Let's go upstairs. Let's
Yeah.
go have a little look.
Upstairs on the first floor, the newly furnished open-plan living area awaits.
Bigger, brighter.
Good. Yeah, it's lovely.
What do you like about it?
I like the big kitchen. I like that you can fit a dining table in the kitchen, and then you've got a separate living area. I think they've done a really nice job.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because this is why I always think when you're looking for a property to kind of think sometimes outside the box, because a lot of people will be, oh, 1970s townhouses, absolutely not my cup of tea. But what they do is provide you with such a fantastic amount of space.
Yeah.
The open-plan kitchen diner was a hit. Upstairs, on the second floor, I'm hoping the new Moroccan-style guest bedroom will impress.
So 3 bedrooms on this floor and then another bedroom upstairs. What do you think? Are you into bold colours? Are you?
I like it. It's nice. Yeah, and it's still quite nice and simple, and I like that there's the fitted wardrobes.
So how much do you think it's on the market for?
$770.
It's actually on at $760. And actually, you move in here and you don't need to do a thing.
Yeah.
This house has enough space for Jennifer and any future family to grow into, and its contemporary styling definitely impressed. Next, it's Pat and Emma's now homely 1930s semi.
So I'm going to give you a very different concept now. 1930s property.
Okay.
Lots of scope for improving this house. It's great as it is, but I think you could really get the old creative juices flowing here. Your initial impressions?
Nice. Very English.
Yeah, we ain't in Melbourne. Let's get inside and we'll have a good old tour.
Average start. I hope things improve in the freshly decorated living room.
So what do you think of proportion, size, decor, style?
Style, not my cup of tea.
You're not a wallpaper person, are you?
No.
Whoops. The thing is with this house is that I think, you were talking about you and your husband were quite keen on putting your own stamp on a property. This is the doer-upper.
Yeah.
This is the one that you really put your stamp on.
Yeah.
But it's not too daunting a prospect.
No. No, it's definitely not too daunting.
OK, let me show you the dining room and then we can see about knocking down some walls.
Now, wallpaper can bring much-needed warmth and colour to rooms, but it's not to everyone's taste. On to what used to be the downstairs loo, but is now the brand new dining area.
So, here is what is currently being used as a dining room.
OK.
What do you reckon? It's wallpaper again. I keep forgetting you hate wallpaper.
It's good. It's functional.
Yeah.
I like the idea of knocking through and making a big kitchen diner.
How much do you think this one is on the market for?
Based on how much work we would have to put into it, $670.
$750. Just go and find that coffin and nail, shall I? Shall we go? Up to you.
Jennifer could see the development potential, but the price sealed this property's fate. 2 down and just 1 more to view. James and Claire's now bold and bright Victorian semi.
This is a turn-of-the-century house.
Okay, really, really nice.
Yeah?
Lovely.
What do you like about it?
It's just got character. It's a nice, I don't know, it's a welcoming entrance.
Let's just get inside and see if you like the house.
Okay.
Look, she's off. Come back.
The period charms certainly excited outside. Inside on the ground floor, we go straight past the knock-through reception room and spacious kitchen diner and straight upstairs to the new, pretty and now colourful guest bedroom.
Now, I know how much you love wacky wallpaper. So I had this one done specially for you.
I think Evie would like it.
See? Bingo. I think she would as well.
Yeah.
2 big rooms at the front and at the back.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the 2 smallest bedrooms, but
Okay.
I still think it's this is a great size for a little girl.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's lovely. And every room's got original fireplaces and it's lovely, really nice.
Does it have a good feel about it?
Yeah, it does. It feels like more of a family home.
So we've designated this one for Evie.
Yeah.
Let's go next door and see whether that one in there is going to like it or not.
She's getting that gut feeling. Next door, I want to show her that very bold box room.
To the nursery. It's cute, isn't it? I mean, I know it's, again, wacky wallpaper, which is obviously now I know you is not your cup of tea, but pretty.
Yeah.
You could easily turn it into an office.
Yeah.
It would make a great teenage den. It's not the widest room in the house by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still a good size. You've got a bed and a wardrobe in here.
Yeah.
Would you change anything?
For it being a nursery, no.
Excellent.
I think we were going to make it into an office.
Yes.
These trees might be a bit hard to look at all day.
What do you think it's on the market at?
$780.
I warn you, it is over your budget. 787. So yeah, it's pushing it,
Yeah.
but you literally move straight in.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think husband would think?
Yeah, he would like it.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely.
This is going to be a close one. There's a lot to talk about here.
So it's been a little jaunt through history today, hasn't it? We've gone from kind of turn of the century to 1970s. Let's start with the 1970s house.
I mean, it ticked all the boxes. You know, right number of bedrooms, nice open plan living area. But it maybe just didn't, I don't know what it was, but it just didn't feel like a family home.
Yeah, they're not all going to grab you, are they? I mean, that's the thing. Then we sort of went back in time and looked at the 1930s house.
Yeah.
Now, that, to me, was something that you could really put your own stamp on it,
Yeah.
which is something that I know you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Again, it didn't seem to get you here, did it?
No.
What was it?
I think I have a project in mind.
And it's not that.
But
Just
it ain't
painting
that.
a skirting board. So then that brings us on to a totally different option again. Turn of the century. Your whole demeanour and the atmosphere just changed.
What I really liked about it is that it had defined living areas. So you could definitely see that you could have grown-up space and kid space.
Yeah. So you've got to wait for your husband to get back from abroad. Will you take him back to have a look at it?
Yes, definitely.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Get him back quickly. As soon as he's back, get him to go and see it, because
Yeah,
I
we will.
genuinely don't think that will stay on the market for very long now they've made those changes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would hate for you to miss out on that and end up kicking yourself because you didn't get it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good luck. I'm crossing everything.
Thanks.
It may have been just over her budget, but James and Claire's characterful semi really caught Jennifer's eye.
Well, it means that the
good.
property in some way has captivated her enough to say, right, get on the phone and say, right, I want you to come and see this house. It's really lovely. I think, you know, I'm positive.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
While my other sellers lost out on this occasion, they've all made big improvements to their homes and increased the saleability of their properties.
I don't mind that they passed, do you?
Well, it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? That's all.
We know there's more to be done.
Yeah, but not that much.
4 weeks on, Alan and Shelley have had some fantastic news.
We sold the property. We've got an offer of £730,000 and
We are going to be moving in together for the first time. So I'm not sure if I want, therefore, the sale to go ahead quickly or to give myself more time to adjust.